Hello and welcome to CX Today. My name is Charlie and today I'm delighted to be joined by Brandon Knight, Global Head of Zoom CX Channel and Ecosystem. Brandon, thanks very much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Charlie. How you doing? And I know that's a lot to say. I think they keep thinking of things to add to the title, so I'll see what I can do about that.
No, it's a great job title, and it's great to have somebody so high up at Zoom on this conversation with me, and I'm really looking forward to this conversation, especially because it's a follow up from a previous conversation that you've had with CX Today, where you revealed
Yeah.
that Zoom has released 600 new features for its contact center platform in 18 months. Now, many
Yes.
of those features are AI driven. And in this conversation, we're going to talk about three specific features. But before we do, maybe if you could just first tell me how's Zoom been able to craft so many cutting edge AI capabilities for the contact center in such a short period of time?
Yeah. It's a good question, and it really has an easy answer because it's something I noticed as soon as I came here. It's Zoom's commitment, and I know that sounds kind of corny. Everyone said, "Well, of course, every company's committed," but it's because our CEO is actually an engineer. I mean, obviously he's a business owner now, but he's an engineer by trait, by skill, by experience. So he approaches things that way. He understands that the win is in the innovation, and he makes sure that we have a commitment from the top down to release those features and to get our product where he wants it to be.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose as well, there's maybe also the element of Zoom does have a cloud native foundation, which does help kind of everybody within Zoom to kind of launch features on the fly and really kind of help that momentum gain speed.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It makes it so much easier because we're not, and this is not a knock against anyone else, but some of the legacy technologies that are out there, they're built on hybrid or premises based things. Because we started in the cloud, it is very easy to add to an application, put a feature in, put it out, have it in dev, have it beta before. So it does. I mean, it does make it a lot easier, honestly.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And especially in the kind of contact center business where you had a lot of people coming from on-premise platforms and they've kind of built these kind of big monolithic stacks of tech, and
Yeah.
that does slow down innovation. But we're not going to name any names today.
No, we're not. But you know what? It happens for customers too, because customers are used to, when they purchase some of the legacy contact center products, those implementations have been like 9, 10 months, a year and a half with some of them because it's hardware. And when they come into we're talking pre-sales, and they're like, well, we don't need this for years. I'm like, it's not going to take that long. They're really surprised, but pure cloud products don't take that long to implement, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really excited actually now to kind of go a little bit deeper in some of those pure cloud products and kind of pure cloud AI products. And the first capability that I wanted to bring up in this discussion is the kind of Zoom AI companion. And this got a lot of headlines last year. But maybe kind of first, could
Yes.
you introduce us to what it is and how it helps to drive kind of ROI in the contact center?
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting because the AI companion is it's the normal chatbot, of course, that everyone's used to. When everyone thinks AI, they think GPT and stuff like that. So of course it has those features. It can do event descriptions and bios, and you can ask it for things like that. But what's also cool is it follows along in the meeting. So not just summarize the meeting afterwards, which it does, but one of the coolest things for me, not that I'm late, but oftentimes my meetings overlap, and I may get to a meeting a little bit behind after it started. And usually, in the old days, you got to try to scroll through the comments or ask somebody else in the meeting. You got to disturb them and ask them what happened. With AI Companion, it can catch me up. It can give me a real time summary of what happened, who said it, what pertinent things have taken place already. So it's really good. So the biggest ROI, of course, is time, right? It's giving back users time in their schedule, and also for some meetings that you want to know what happened, or if there's an action item for you, but maybe it conflicted with your schedule and you couldn't attend, you can still get the summary. And it will outline if there was something, if someone said your name, if it was addressed to you, if someone talked about your department or a product you're working on. So you don't have to attend that meeting to find out, exactly what happened. So it's more than just a note taker. It's summarizing and identifying who did it. So I think the biggest one is definitely the time it saves and the efficiency that the users have.
Yeah, and especially when you think about how you can apply that to the contact center as well. So, for example, if you have a chatbot conversation that breaks down and that escalates to an agent, if
Hmm.
you have that summarized original conversation flowing through to the agent, they already know what the customer's talking about, where the conversation has gone wrong, and they can pick that up from where it's kind of broken down instead of getting customers to repeat all that information again. And that saves so much time, and that kind of saves money in
Yeah.
the contact center too. I think that's
Absolutely. And one of the other things in that same scenario is even for the supervisor. I can tell you as being one who had to manage a contact center, oftentimes a customer will call in and they'll tell you about a conversation they had before, whether it be chat or whatever, and they'll say, well, your agent said this or the rep promised me that. And, back in the old days, we'd have to go find the employee and say, hey, do you remember this conversation from 4 months ago? It was your third call of 200 for the day, and of course there's not an accurate recollection of what happened, but with this tool you can go back and look at the summary of the chat. You can say, yeah, okay, we said that, or we didn't say that, or the customer responded this way, and it's quantifiable data that you can act on versus subjectively hoping the customer or the employee remembers the conversation correctly.
mm. And that will bring us on to the WEM element of the Zoom suite. But before we get into that, there is I do want to kind of quickly revert back to conversational AI and talk about the Zoom virtual agent. Now, this is
Yeah.
also proving popular amongst your customers. Can you maybe kind of tell us why this is kind of proving popular in such kind of a convoluted conversational AI field, and what results your customers have already had from deploying it?
Yes, for me, this is one of the best things to happen, and Zoom really went after it with a robust intent to get a product that would actually be successful. And for some who might not be familiar, virtual agent is all about getting self service. It's all about improving your self service score. And for those of you like me who've run contact centers, you know that the employees, the human beings, are your most valuable and your most expensive asset. And so you don't really want customers using a live agent to get their bank balance or reset a password or those types of things, right? And conversely, most customers who just want their balance or want to transfer or want to make slight changes to their account, they don't want to have to wait on hold and explain who they are and authenticate to a live agent just to have something simplistic done as well. So it works on both sides. And we've had tremendous success. I mean, I just picked a few, but this is really a wildly successful product for us. Ancestry.com, for instance, realized a 21% increase in their CSAT just from implementing ZVA and having customers get what they wanted more quickly. SeatGeeks reached an 84% self-service number, which is in and of itself, like it's insane. Most products are looking for, a 65 to 70%. Uh, but we also drink our own Kool-Aid. We implemented it for us first, and our own support team has a 93% self-service rating. So it's a phenomenally effective product. Ring.com is another one. They reported back at $28 million savings using ZVA because they incorporated the cost of agents who no longer had to take those calls. So there's a lot. This product saves time, it saves money, it saves resources, and especially with this. I know we don't like to talk about the different generations and how they interact, right? Nobody wants to be labeled, but the fact of the matter is, we do have a couple generations of consumers that would prefer to interact either online or virtually or mobily. They don't really want to have to talk to someone. And so this is especially useful for companies who have them as a primary customer base.
Mm. Yeah, lots of really good stats there. And reflecting back on kind of Zoom's own use of the Zoom virtual agent, I believe I spoke to one of your colleagues too, and he told me that it saves Zoom, I think, 13 million every month or something.
Yeah,
It was bigger, and that's
yeah,
both.
because we have a lot of customers, thankfully, right? We have a lot of customers, and we have a lot of different applications on our platform. So customers are always calling in, trying to figure out, can I get this one? Can I get that one? And they always want to expand what they have. And without ZVA, they may have to talk to a person to get a new license or add a new product or something like that. But things like that, just resetting, logins, resetting passwords, restarting applications, all that stuff can be done virtually without a live person. So it does save us a lot of money,
Mm. And it does show
which
that
we're
you
like
how
any other business, right? Like we're interested in saving money. So
yeah, and it does show how even the biggest enterprises, Zoom is a huge global brand, can leverage this technology and kind of across worldwide and gain such good results. And I always do get kind of a little bit concerned when there are tech brands that don't implement their own technologies too. So I think that's a really great case study alongside all of the others that you mentioned. And now just shifting gears to our third capability, and this is an exciting one that I believe is currently on the roadmap, and that is Zoom Auto QA. And this capability allows contact centers to analyze 100% of their calls. It goes back to, I guess, our conversation 5 minutes ago. But can you maybe tell us a little bit about how contact centers can kind of leverage this capability to kind of its complete capacity, I suppose, and drive more ROI?
yeah, I first of all, I will tell you, as someone who managed contact centers, again, because that's my focus when I look at our products and I go to market, being able to score 100% of your calls really isn't heard of. Most companies are happy with getting to 50% of the calls, 60% of the calls, and when it comes to recording them because of space issues, but then even scoring them, most companies have a live person scoring them, and on a good ratio contact center, you're talking 10 agents to one supervisor, 15 agents to one supervisor, and you're talking about the amount of time it takes to listen to a call and score it correctly using whatever algorithm that company is using. And you may get one call a week. That's a good. Most companies would consider that a good quality management system if I'm scoring one call a week on my agent and giving them feedback on that. But imagine recording all of the calls and scoring all of the calls and just having the outliers brought to you. And in this system, the scoring system can be customized. So you can have a yes no system, you can have a rating system, you can have it based on an engagement score, a sentiment score, you can have it based on key indicators if certain things are said. You can actually do it, in one of my past leadership roles in the contact center, there was a disclaimer that had to be said anytime an appointment was set. So imagine being able to set that disclaimer's keywords in and listen to every single call and tell you immediately if it was said or not said, or push out the calls where it wasn't said and the resolution was appointment. So the applications for this product are really, they're limitless, and right now we have in our QM product where we listen for those and we monitor for that. But the auto QA allows it to be done without a person having to implement it or put anything in. It will automatically do it, automatically score it, automatically send it out to the agent, and going a little bit further, if you wanted to combine that with the AI tool, you can actually have the AI put in some coaching words. You can have it look at your auto score, and you can say, if it's above this score, have the AI spit out, positive, encouraging feedback. to give some of those supervisors who have a tough time figuring out what words to say to motivate their agents or what words to say to challenge them. You can use the tool to do that after you've done the scoring. So just the time it takes, the efficiency, it takes the subjectivity out, because I can tell you, as being an agent before too, it always seemed like, I take 100 calls a day, I'm doing 500, 600 calls a week, and my supervisor just randomly picks that one call where I forgot to, forgot to say something. So I think in this case, it takes all of that out of it, and it will not only help from QA, I think it will improve the morale of the whole contact center, because they'll see that the scoring is done systemically. It's not based on anyone's opinion. It's factually rating, was this said or not said. And I think that goes a long way in helping employees feel good about their environment.
Yeah, it does really help to kind of build the culture of fairness, I suppose, which is critical. But if you think about the wider applications of this technology, as you said, that there are so many applications, you can use 100% of the interactions, one agent's interactions, and kind of split them up by intent, perhaps, and kind of see which particular contact reasons they're struggling with, and give them more targeted coaching. That's possibly one option. You can maybe pair it up with the Zoom workforce management solution, so resource planners can see, wow, this agent performs better at this time, this time, this time, and then offer them more shifts at that time to kind of raise performance. There's just so, when you think about the applications of this technology, there's so many ways a contact center could take it. So lots of really good stuff there, and that's an exciting one definitely to look out for. But maybe to kind of close this conversation, we focused on the Zoom AI companion, virtual agent, and now auto QA. I just wanted to ask you kind of if there were any other standout AI applications within the Zoom contact center that you would have kind of maybe added to this list.
Yeah, I actually I do have one I want to share. I mean, you mentioned the QM, which is also in our WM product, which we're focused on forecasting, scheduling, and intraday management, and we're using AI for that. That's real time, and that's built in to our product. I should mention something because it's important. It's so simple to us that I almost overlook it. But I do want to mention, with our one of the other advantages of our AI companion, we talked about how it can be used. I think, and this is not a knock against any other company, but I think it's also important to note that Zoom put that product out at no additional cost. And we know that those products that other companies have can range anywhere from $15 to $40 per license. So we wanted it to be available to everyone. But getting back to your question, there's another product called AI Expert Assist, which I'm very excited about, because it doesn't, our regular AI and regular chatbots that you see, even the conversational stuff, talks about the customer in and making it easier for the customer and self-service and stuff. Expert Assist helps the agent get to information faster. And I do want to point out, because there's a lot of tools that will check information in a knowledge base and report back, or there's tools that will listen to what the customer is saying contextually and try to tie it to something in a knowledge base. Our tool does both and doesn't require one to do the other. And so it's very exciting. It can listen to a conversation just contextually and say, well, based on what Gen AI is available out there, this person's talking about this, you should probably ask them about that. But it also has the ability to read a knowledge base, to look at the CRM and say, this person called 2 weeks ago about being in an accident, so now they're asking about tires. They probably want to know if their plan covers replacement tires, and so it can give all that information to the agent and speed up the agent's response, and get to something that we all like when we're talking to support, which is one call resolution. So I'm very excited because our Expert Assist helps agents be smarter. And that is, I mean, let's face it, if you find yourself in a situation where you're calling in to a support line, you want to get to someone quickly, you want them to resolve your issue quickly. So making agents more efficient makes the customer experience better, which of course raises NPS and CSAT. So very excited about that one as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've had that. There have been next best action tools before, kind of in the past, but since the advent of Gen AI, they've really kind of blossomed almost. And I think now, as you said, the fact that they can kind of help support, give the agents that next level of support is perhaps crucial. You know, as tools like the Zoom Virtual Agent really take up, help to kind of automate a lot more of the simpler calls. That extra layer of support to also give to agents is going to become more crucial. So I think that's a really great addition to our list, and maybe a great place to end today's conversation. But it's been very educational for me. So thank you very much for joining me today, Brandon.
No problem. Thank you for having me. Thanks for actually thanks for everything you guys do. I mean, I follow your articles and your company, and I see a lot of the feedback from your readers and your viewers. And you guys are providing a lot of good information for our industry. So I appreciate
Excellent. Well, it always helps to have great speakers come on and join us, but I appreciate that
it.
that too, Brendan. Yeah, so thanks again for joining me, and thanks also for everybody for watching. Bye for now.